Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the AJA Sports Show. We have another edition of court sessions for you guys going on. A lot of big games today, a lot of stuff to talk about. Ace is already here in the chat. We'd love to see it. We miss you, buddy. As you'll notice, it is only going to be Jay and Andrew for today's show. Again, we are without Ace. We will have him back shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Though his absence,
our better third.
His absence has been sorely missed. He is the better third. We miss you, buddy. Glad you're here in the chat to hang out with us. So as you can see, we are wearing Lakers jerseys. We do have matching ones. We like to show we don't shy away in showing our biases, unfortunately, on this show. So they are here in full effect. They are both LeBron jerseys, 23 on them. King's got to go to work. Tip off over here at 7:00.
Oh, it's the biggest game in LeBron James' career. It's a defining moment. He's been to 55 NBA Finals, but Game 5 in the first round of the Western playoffs is the biggest game. Shut up. We'll get into it a little bit. Jimmy.
I have a pretty ridiculous stat that we'll get to once we talk about the Lakers. We're gonna go over the bracket a little bit today. I'm going to get that pulled up in just a second. A lot of every series has closed out their game 4. There was only one sweep. Miami went down in 4 games to Milwaukee. So they'll get a bunch of rest.
What a travesty that was. What a fraud, Jimmy Butler, huh?
Yeah, he did not play well at all. Average under 20, shot like 32% from the field. And I think I'm being generous. It might be even less than that. What up, Lord Lizzie? Glad you guys are in the chat.
He's not a fraud. He's not a fraud. But all you people who think that Jimmy Butler he shoots terribly. Like, he's an awful jump shot. Like, he's bad from the three-point line. And everyone thinks because the playoffs come on, Jimmy Butler's just going to start hitting three-pointers. Guess what? He did it. He missed them just like he was missing them in the regular season. He was bad at shooting them in the regular season. He was even worse shooting them in the postseason. So, data boy. Yeah. Jimmy Brickets.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah. You build about 5 houses, how many bricks they were jacking up. It was all of them, too. Miami just played terrible in total. We might as well just get right into it. I'm about to start ripping Miami.
He said Ace said not as bad as Kemba.
Close.
He's a poor guy.
Kemba
and Robert Williams are actually not even playing for the Celtics for the second game in a row. So Boston and Brooklyn tipped off there midway through the first quarter here. Didn't get a glimpse of the score just yet. I saw it about 16-10, something around there. It's still early on. So anyway, so before we get going into all the content here, guys, if you haven't already, as we do at every show here, just go ahead and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys would be so kind, we would love to see you there at AJA Sports Show on both of those platforms, as well as on YouTube here on this platform. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you liked what you're seeing. We really appreciate it. It does a lot for us, and we love seeing you guys here in the chat. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up the playoff bracket, and let's talk about some games, because we're going to go ahead and start off the Eastern side. We started right over here, Philly and Washington. Game 5 coming up tomorrow in a game where we won't see Joel Embiid. That's already been confirmed. And a game where we're actually not going to see Davis Bertans from Washington Wizards either. He's out with not a high ankle sprain, excuse me, a left calf strain, I believe it was. So he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So they're going to be without their sharpshooter. Yep. So it kind of begs the question here. A lot of people... 5 people watching, chat with me in the comments. That's right. Boost them up, Ace. Boost them up. People get going here in a second. We got you. It kind of begs the question. A lot of people brought it up because if you watch that game, Ben Simmons struggled from the free throw line late. They did the little hack-a-shack technique before the last 2 minutes, and we're just fouling him and sending him to the line and making him miss free throws. And it worked. I don't imagine it. Personally, I don't think it's going to work every time. But this is what I'm going to ask you, Jay. What scares you more? Are you more scared of Embiid's health if you're the 76ers, or are you worried about Ben Simmons shooting free throws? I have a feeling where you might go on this one, but let everybody know.
That's a really good question. What was Joel Embiid's injury after all, Andrew? Did they end up saying what it was for sure? I know they were looking at his what was it?
Yes, back? You do, Ryan. What's going on, man?
What up, Ryan?
They called it a left knee contusion, I think.
Left knee contusion?
Yeah, contusion is like the word that the NBA trainers and stuff are right knee contusion. The contusion is like the new flavor of NBA trainers and their verbiage they use. It's like if somebody gets hurt and they're not sure what to call it, it might be longer, it may not be. They just say it's contusion.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to
it. That's a really good question. I'd probably say Joel Embiid's injuries. Yeah, he's a big boy, dude. He's already dealt with some of them. One of them was a back from a few years ago, and whenever you're dealing with 7-footers and backs, I don't know if I'm just petrified as a Laker fan because of Andrew Bynum, and he had the back injury, and that was pretty much it. Toast. His whole career was over after that. Ben Simmons doesn't shoot well. Everyone knew this. It's something that's been going on the entire time since he came into the league, and even when he was in college, and he was still drafted number 1 because he's unbelievable at everything else that doesn't involve shooting a basketball. So do I think Ben Simmons, right now, he's shooting worse than Shaquille O'Neal from the free throw line. Like, he's shooting like 27% in the playoffs. Like, no, that's probably not going to continue. He's a career average, like 60% free throw shooter, which is not great. That's pretty dang bad too, but it's not 27% like it is right now. So, yeah, definitely Ben Simmons. Andrew, what do you think? Do they need Joel Embiid to win one more game?
To win one more game, no. But to go in, the rest of the postseason, yeah, they need Joel Embiid back. I think that's the only reason they even got to where they are. Granted, they did play well without him during his absence. Hey, I'm good. Hawks are going to win the series.
Poor Asa. You let the heart speak. You let the one thing about the Knicks, we're gonna get to them right now. They can't pass worth a nothing, man. Their passing is terrible. Their ball movement is awful. Literally, if you want to guard the Knicks, just guard the whole left side of the court. Just don't let Julius Randle and RJ Barrett go left, and they'll score 20 points. They'll never score if you guard the whole left side of the court. Make them go right, and they'll never score a bucket.
Yeah, no, and the thing, I don't think the Sixers are too worried about Ben Simmons. If you heard Doc Rivers talk about it, he kind of reiterated everything you just said right there, and kind of nailed it on the head to the reporters who were asking the questions. And with the question marks, he in a nutshell just said that Ben does so many other like ancillary things to the game of basketball that affect the game of basketball, whether on the defensive end, getting to the bucket, creating for his teammates, rebounding the ball, that if we're going to harp on just free throw shooting, that you could eventually find a hole in everybody's game, and that, people to think that he's not actively working on it is just naive and foolish, and that people need to just kind of pump the brakes. So, again, I don't think the free throw shooting thing is going to be as much of a problem. I think that was kind of a one-off. Washington found themselves really close in a game late where they could steal one from Philly, in a game where Embiid went down. Daniel Gafford and Rui Hachimura had some of the best games of their careers. So I don't expect them to win tomorrow. I think it'll be a nice gentleman's sweep in a series that probably should have been 4, but then they move on to play Atlanta, as we see here. And we can move on to that Knicks and Atlanta series because Ryan brought it up.
Philly almost won just so we're all aware. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but they almost won. Like, it's not like with that awful free throw shooting of Ben Simmons, this was a blowout. Well, yeah. I guess they ended up. No, they barely won.
It was close all the way throughout, and then they hit a couple.
It was an 8-point game.
Mm-hmm. So nothing too crazy, but the series that we all I thought it'd be a little bit closer. I thought it'd be a little more neck and neck is this Knicks and Hawks series. The Hawks have kind of asserted their authority here. Trae Young has been kind of balling, been able to penetrate and get in and out of the paint as he pleases, and they just don't have an answer on the defensive side of the ball for Clint Capella. Unfortunately, the Knicks do. You can't throw Taj Gibson and Nerlens Noel out there and expect them to get the job done against a guy who averages 15 and 15. Asa coming in here with this is a controversial comment. Here we go. Players getting paid now, and the league wants to protect their investments. That's why, quote, tough play is gone. It's it's just the way it is now. Since I guess you can point it back. It's hard to find a time in the NBA's history where that actually made the turn, and tough play is kind of gone. But people just want to protect their bodies now, and protect their assets, and players want to protect them more than the businesses do.
Yeah,
I don't know about this one.
Oh no, there's no way. Yeah, that's not happening. The whole point of basketball is to score points and stop the other team from scoring points. And yeah, they made it a little more difficult to stop the other team from scoring points, but they made it real easy to do the other one, which is score points. And the Knicks still find it to be one of the hardest things in basketball. Derrick Rose cannot be your leading scorer and you win a playoff series now. It's not possible. We talked about it the other day. This is the biggest hodgepodge of random talent I've ever seen in my life. Look at their starting lineup. Julius Randle was thrown to the side by the Los Angeles Lakers. What was he, the 6th pick in the draft, right?
The 7th or 6th, between 6 and 8, one of them.
Right. and they're thrown out by the Lakers. Derrick Rose, we already know about his problem. No, Nerlens Noel, I thought played for the Thunder until he started getting minutes, and the center got hurt from the Knicks. Dang it. What was his name? The guy Robinson. Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we wait for you here? I was gonna stay silent until you figured.
Thank you. No, I figured it out. The wheels were turning there. The wheels were turning. The hamster wheel was spinning up there, and we got it. Yeah, just a bunch of hodgepodge people. Isn't that the point in any sport? Score point. Yeah, it is, Ryan. Go figure.
In a nutshell, yeah. When you break it down, it basically just comes down to that. There, there's other parts to it and nuances and stuff, but yeah, essentially,
but it kind of pendulum swings, right? Like it was really hard to score points for a long time. Like when people didn't know that on offense you can do things that people do now in the NBA on a regular basis. Steph Curry wasn't shooting 40-foot 3-pointers, back in the 1960s. Like this stuff wasn't happening. It makes it a lot easier to score points now. The harder thing is to stop them from scoring points. So you want to be good at both of them, but if you're only good at one, you might as well be pretty darn good at one of them. And when the one you're good at is the one that's the hardest to do right now, which is stop the other team from scoring. And the other team Trae Young has perfected. I don't think I've ever seen him miss a teardrop. Every time he shoots a teardrop, it's going in. It's buckets every time. It's unbelievable. And they score points way better than the Knicks do stopping people from score points. And that's why the Hawks are up 3-1 in the series.
And you could almost relate it to how the
shot, right? When did the 3-point shot get brought into the NBA? A while, right?
Since the merger, I think that's when they did it. I don't remember the exact time frame. I don't know.
Yeah, me either. And
I don't know exactly when that happened.
I can look.
But it's kind of like what's going on with baseball too. Like you mentioned, like the pendulum kind of swings, Jay. Like right now with baseball, like a lot of like the analytics tell you to try and hit home runs, and so batting averages aren't batting averages now aren't as high as compared to batting averages back in like the early 2000s or like back in in times that we remember growing up, like with baseball, where you're a contact hitter and you try and get on base and you drive in runs that way. The small ball is kind of gone right now, but it could come back, and you see it sometimes. And same thing with the NBA. Sometimes you see the post game, and that's why Joel Embiid is so effective, because he can dominate down the post. But Joel Embiid could also shoot threes. So it just kind of sports is interesting because it always changes, and it's ever changing, and there will never be just a.
Where do you see those type of scenario plays happen more often, Andrew? Where?
In terms of like
small ball hitting and like mid-range jump shots in the NBA. 1979 and 1980. I was gonna say that's when they brought it.
There we go.
Actually, not as I thought it was a little farther back than that. When do you see that happen more? In the playoffs, when the stakes are big, when one game matters. Because why? Because sports now has turned into such a volume type of game in every league. In everything, it's about volume, because we've gone to so many metrics and so many numbers and statistics where now the stat guys are leading the ways. And if you're going to have 1,000 swings on a baseball field, it makes sense to go yard on 1,000 of them. But when you're, when you're in the playoffs and you need one run, and you got a runner on first, and you need to get a guy in scoring position with nobody out, hitting it to the right side of the field and getting the guy on second base and having one out with a runner on second makes a huge difference in one game. So that's where you're going to see that come into play more often. All this kind of stuff where we're talking about where it's high volume, shooting 3-pointers, mid-range jump shots, hitting home runs, all this small ball stuff, when every game, every inning, every pitch, every shot matters, is when you'll start to see the volume and the statistic nerds, and they're not nerds, but everyone calls them nerds. I'm just going to call them nerds. Start to take a back seat, and those types of plays become more, influential in terms of who wins and who loses the series, and a lot of times championships for that matter.
Practice? We're talking about practice? Yeah, we're talking about practice, AI. A little bit.
Dude, it's so crazy that everyone remembers that, but no one remembers why he was so upset. He just lost his best friend. Like his best friend in life, like passed away like a few days before that. And then this reporter wants to come out to him about practice. Bro, I mean, you're lucky I'm even here for the games, bro. Like, seriously. Like, and Allen Iverson was the most for the culture. That's a whole nother segment we can get on about. He was the most for the culture type of basketball player we've ever seen. I mean, ever seen.
Yeah, we could probably get into that on a different day, and that'll be actually like a fun little thing to do. Maybe when Ace is back, we could talk about we could feature like different players and stuff from when we were growing up. But segueing back to that Knicks and Hawks series, I I don't know. The game's going. So Game 5 is going to be back in New York. So it's going to be back in the Garden. We already saw the antics of some fans back in the Garden. I don't, and how New York Knicks fans treated that game to win. I hope they enjoyed it because you're probably not going to get another one. I would probably bet that they get this, that the Hawks win this game, barring Julius Randle just like deciding to actually shoot, his season averages. But anyway, I digress. Milwaukee and Miami, that next series that we can kind of swing by. We talked about it for a second. The only sweep of this playoff so far, 4-0. Milwaukee just exercised all the demons from last year, and Giannis isn't playing around. And hopefully he makes good on my prediction from a couple weeks ago where I said that this was going to be where he's kind of cements himself in the Eastern Conference because he just absolutely tore up Miami and ate Bam Adebayo's lunch money every single day. So took care of him 4-0. Brooklyn and Boston, who's playing right now. Brooklyn is up 6. Second quarter is 2 minutes underway. Sorry if I'm looking that way. I got the TV on, so got to get some highlights in. Tatum is without. Sorry to keep going. Tatum is without Robert Williams and Kemba Walker, as we mentioned. Jay, what were you gonna say?
No, just about the. It'd be fun to do backstories. Yeah, throw some sound bites, Ryan. If you have a few that you're like really interested in, maybe we'll find a few ourselves too. But if you have one that you really like or one that really sticks out to you, I mean, I'd love to go down on that. There's some that, again, people just don't understand. Like that's actually what happened with Allen Iverson. And if they did, they probably would, think twice before just randomly making fun of homeboy for it. So Milwaukee, Miami, we're going to stick on that series just for 1 minute, Andrew.
If you got something to say about it, I mean, it's already over, so they're going to be playing the winner of this next one.
They lost Dante DiVincenzo. He's not going to play the rest of the postseason. Saw Shaq and the boys talking about it on TNT. And Shaq doesn't think it's a big deal because he only averages 10 points. Dante DiVincenzo does a lot for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's a very good perimeter defensive player. Not the greatest or anything, but I mean, he's definitely not a liability out there. Shoots a 3-pointer relatively well, gets them set up in their offense. And Shaq was like, ooh, well, Pat Connaughton can do that. Well, if Pat Connaughton can do that, Shaq, he'd be starting. Okay. And he doesn't because he can't. Okay. Dante DiVincenzo is a big loss for a team that is looking to make a finals run. I thought they were going to make the finals before that. I still think they probably will. Again, I mentioned before the series started, we all picked who were going to be like big storylines looking at the first round. I mentioned Drew Holiday. Andrew, who did you mention?
I said James Harden.
Okay.
So he's played well.
What did he have the other day? Like 20 assists, didn't he?
I think, well, actually, he had somewhere close to 20. And over the last 2 games, the Brooklyn Big Three, KD, Kyrie, and Harden, have combined for 200 points. That's never been done before. They've scored 200 points in 2 basketball games combined.
Yep.
I don't even understand how to I don't even know how to live with that statistic.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. I mean, I think Milwaukee matches up really nice with them. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat them, bro. I mean,
hey, for what it's worth, Ace, D Rose hasn't. D-Rose,
it ain't his fault.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Yeah, you've been right on that. It'd be over if it wasn't for Derrick Rose. It'd be this series would be over if it wasn't for Derrick Rose. The only reason we bring it up is because number one, all 3 of us was right. We all picked a dude who run balled out. Drew Holiday had some of the fattest plus minuses in terms of plus that I've ever seen. I mean, he's finishing games with like plus 38 plus minuses. I mean, just boat racing the Heat when he's on the court, man. Yeah, so definitely. Just wanted to touch on Dante DiVincenzo being out because I think he's a player that actually matters for Milwaukee. It's going to cause him to go a little bit deeper into the bench. I don't think Budenholzer wanted to do that. I think he's played that role last couple years. And I remember there were like last postseason, he was playing Giannis like 30 minutes a night as if there was another game or something after the game. Bro, it's Giannis. It's the playoffs. Like 35, 38, 40 minutes. We need to have Giannis in there. You better be winning by 30 to have Giannis not in there. So, yeah, just wanted to touch on DiVincenzo being out. I think who do we have? What do we all project for the Boston series, Andrew? I think I had Brooklyn in 5, right?
You had Brooklyn in 5. I had Brooklyn in 6. I wrote down that you had Brooklyn in 6, Jay, but I think you had Brooklyn. I'm pretty sure you had Brooklyn in 5.
I could have sworn I had him at 5.
Yeah. I'm gonna fix it. I wrote it down just while I was writing it, and then Ace had Brooklyn in 4. So they did. Boston got a game. That was the game that Tatum went off for 50, right? That's the one they won.
And we talked about it, right? You picked him in 2. I picked him in 5. You had him winning 2. I had him winning 1. Just because, JT's going to ball, right? He's going to have 1 or 2 games where he's just going to go nuclear and he's going to have 45, 50 points. And
we'll have to fact check this one.
Yeah. We can check that out. We can check that out. Because I want them to win today. I want Brooklyn to win today. Give me that extra point. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about the points, man. Yeah, it's all about the points.
It's all about winning. Yeah,
I'm rooting. I'm a Laker fan, but I'm rooting for Boston today, just so that way, like they go back to. Well, they're in Brooklyn now.
I might have said 6, Nike. I think I might have said 6. Awkward. I'll check my notes.
I'll have to check. Yeah,
but yeah, without Jaylen Brown, now without Kemba Walker, without Robert Williams, and people were making fun of not making fun of him, but making fun of the injury designation as turf toe when he doesn't play on turf, but it's still turf toe. It's the same thing.
We just need a new name for it to make it a little more like legitimate. So like fans, people are just so like quick to rush to judgment nowadays. It's just you have to be like
turf toe. He doesn't play on turf. What are you talking about, Mr. Funny Guy? Yeah, okay, good job, Funny.
So I'm going to put this on the screen real fast.
Yeah, I got Brooklyn at 5, baby.
Brooklyn at 5.
Brooklyn at 5 versus Boston.
Well, it has changed on the record. I've crossed it out and rectified it to 5 games now as your correct prediction. I bring this on the screen because, once again, we talked about it in the last show on Thursday. I know we got kind of like heated about what happened with what happened at Madison Square Garden and what happened over in where was the other game? It was in Philly. What happened to Russell Westbrook getting the popcorn poured on him. Well, it happened again. A water bottle was thrown at Kyrie, and the fan was arrested. Yet another. Are we getting a little close up here? We're going to close up. I don't know if I can close up just on you.
Brooklyn in 5.
I do see it. Brooklyn in 5. So let's go Boston.
Yeah, y'all don't want to get me that point. Yeah, you guys are ridiculous, you dang fans, man. Andrew, I'll let you go off for a second before I get my blood pressure high.
I mean, I just don't really know what to say. It's 3 instances now. I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. Like what you have to, what there is to gain. Like we're as passionate as fans as they come. I would like to believe, like to a degree, I guess to say. Like I'm not passionate to where I take it personal, but I kind of do. And I know you like understand. Like I know you get that, Jay, and like Ace gets that. Like. We're up in our feelings, but like never to the point where we're gonna like throw objects at players, and it's really really like frustrating and annoying to see like basketball players and any sport really like when this stuff kind of happens to have like them treated this way and to think that fans can do these kinds of things. And for what it's worth, the fan who did it was arrested. He's banned from TD Garden. That's enough, but it's like it also isn't enough. It's like we almost have to start like readdressing maybe how close the teams are. And like I think someone brought it up on one of the major sports talk shows. I believe it was Nick Wright talking about like if this is what the fans want, you guys don't want to be right next to the action. They're gonna just move you guys back a couple 100 feet back. They're like maybe not that much, but they're gonna move fans away from from as far away from the players that they think is safe. So I really don't know what the NBA is going to do here. Like I said, they're banning people and stuff. It just really sucks to see.
Yeah, Ryan mentioned it. His comment, I agree with Colin Cowherd, take out some of those seats and sell advertising. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why you can't have nice things. And I love what Boston did. They put that dude's face. They put his face out there. They put his name out there. You need to absolutely just annihilate this dude. So that way this kind of action is never tolerated ever again. And I never understood why the hell you needed to sit so close to the players anyway. I mean, when you go to watch an orchestra, do you sit right next to the tubist? Huh? I mean, get out of here, dude. They're playing a professional sport. What are we doing? What are we doing? I always think back. Y'all want to think you're slick and stuff. Some Rams fan, I think it was a Rams fan when Peters or another team while Peters was on the Rams, Marcus Peters for all cornerback. He was playing for the Rams at the time. Some dude in the stands wanted to start running his mouth and say some stuff that ain't no so bueno with Marcus Peters. What Marcus Peters do? Walk right up the stairs to the bleachers, and dude sat down faster than I've ever seen someone sat down. I swear, got ants in his pants how fast he sat down, bro. He sit down because none of you would dare say any of this stuff to any of these athletes, any of them. Like, you think Kyrie's small. Kyrie's 6'1", bro. Like Kyrie's not tiny for a human being. He's tiny for an NBA player, but he ain't tiny for a human being. I mean, the dude who wants to pick a fight with Russell Westbrook? Are you kidding me? Russell Westbrook is. I want no part of Russell Westbrook. Y'all are ridiculous. Y'all are absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, Ryan, I kind of agree. Back him up. I mean, AD. We just saw AD. I swear, the life almost left my body in game 1 when he shot that 3-pointer, stepped back and ran into the damn sign. Why do we have signs 3 feet off the end line, off the sideline? Move it back. I can see your stupid ad for Sam's Club. Back it up. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable, man. Or put a freaking, do like a projection. No one's going to know. Come on, dude. We are so smart with some stuff and so ridiculously stupid in other things. Like, where in God's name does any of this make sense?
It really doesn't. Real quick. What's up, Amanda?
Hey, Amanda.
Glad to see another face in here. Hope you're having a great Tuesday night so far.
Everyone always tunes in when I'm screaming, dude.
It's the best time to tune in. You know, you just the unfortunate part is that you walk in at the middle of the rant, and sometimes, you know, you don't really know where it started because you kind of go off on the tangents. And, you know, for those of us who get to see the beginning and the end of it, it's rather entertaining. So hopefully everyone else finds it pretty entertaining. I was going to say, though, like you brought up the fact that, like, you know, the players speak out about it. And, you know, these fans, they don't want any part of it. Bradley Beal said, Bradley Beal in his post-game conference after it is pretty funny. After what happened to they're not throwbacks. They're the new ones. They're just the color scheme. They're the new ones from this year. They're just a color scheme of like the Minneapolis. They're the baby blue and white. Got to represent LeBron. So we're, you know, it's what we got. They're pretty nice. So we had some gold Kobe Bryant Laker jerseys. So we wanted to get LeBron jerseys. Thought we'd mess around, get a nice new colorway, one that's you know, not going to be around forever, kind of limited. So we got these on today. Bradley Beal mentioned it. He said, like, you know, these fans don't want any part of me. Like, I'm a 6'4" athlete, like basketball player. You guys really want to come and try me? Like, I dare you to come try me. And, you know, obviously, like, the players, like, it's tongue in cheek when they say they're not actually going to go fight fans. But if it ever came to that, we saw it. Like, I'm gonna go back up to Ace's comment, the Malice in the Palace. Ron Artest had no problem getting in there. And then I remember, I forget who it was. I forget the player's name, but there was an instance back in like the early 80s where a player for the Houston Rockets went into the stands during like a timeout or like a dead ball situation, like just went and busted up a fan real quick and walked back on the court and they kept playing. So we're not doing that anymore. Yeah, good for him, but I don't think we're doing that anymore. Let's see, what did Ryan say? Back to quarantine seating, sell VR. Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't mind that. That was actually kind of cool. Like, and obviously, I like, you know, fans in the stadium changes the atmosphere, but having like the VR seats, like to be able to be like that's cool. But like the signage being close, like I share the sentiment about like AD rolling his ankle.
What happened to fans just acting normal? Like, what happened to like the "Let's Go Dodgers" chants and "Great job" and all that, you know, a little sportsmanship, huh? I mean, they start giving participation trophies to everyone, and all of a sudden, no one knows how to have no dang sportsmanship. I mean, Jiminy, dude. Guys, the players rack on each other way more than y'all could ever say. You could say they're bums and stuff, and they don't care. But when you start adding up all this race and stuff like that, then yeah, they gonna come for your mouth and start throwing stuff like they're animals. Like, what are you doing? Like, really? Like, I mean, you're throwing water bottles and popcorn. Like, that's what's going on right now, bro. I mean, the popcorn probably cost you $15. The water bottle like 12. Yeah, I mean,
no, seriously, how expensive it is too. Like, why are you throwing like the like concessions you're purchasing at these sporting events? Like, they're ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
People are way too bold.
People just think nowadays they're entitled to all the access.
They just live without consequence. They live without fear of consequence. Absolutely. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Until Ron Artest goes to the third row and puts your face in the damn bleacher seat, and then you don't do it anymore, and then you don't have anyone from the stands yelling something stupid for 10 years, and then 10 years go and people have kids, and then you got some new idiots that come into the arena, and I guess someone's got to get put the beat down on. I'm not going to ever let that happen around me, bro. Like, I mean, there have been some belligerent fans like at Dodger Stadium, and like, I'll tell them, shut up. I'll be like, straight up, dude. Like, you think you big dog? Whoa!
He is here, ladies and gentlemen, in the flesh. It is Ace. What is going on?
Put me in, coach.
He's off the pine. He's off the pine. 6th man of the year, ready to go. Ace, love that you matching the blue color, the color scheme we got here. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That away.
He's back.
Ace, what do you think about these fans, huh? Give me some. Give me some.
Oh, okay. All y'all can go to NBA. What's purgatory? You piece of shits. Like the guys on the guys on these major networks can't say shit and stuff like that. All of you are just pieces of shit regurgitated into more shit and more shit and more shit. Like this is what you can say when you can't say anything, when you shouldn't have to say this crap, guys. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, get the F out of the NBA's bubble. Don't go to any of these games. Like, I'm put good into the world, you pieces of shit. Like, come on, man.
I mean, after one, okay, and then I saw it happen again. I was like, oh, Jesus. Wait, there were 3 times? We're in the first round.
I'll call it a categorical fail if the NBA doesn't do anything before the second round starts, because they'll have had 2 weeks before that effing time happens, and they need to figure out something. They need to tell, hey, you sold out the first front row or something. You need to displace everybody back a row, because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
We're gonna have to get him one. I think we should get him a matching one.
Birthday's coming up.
I have several Lakers jerseys. They're all very worn in because I used to wear them back when I was in high school, and they're kind of stowed away in my and a little bit past high school, but they're all kind of stowed away in my garage right now, because if I probably open one up and it'll like shake off all the numbers and letters and stuff. So
vintage, man.
Yeah. So but yeah, I definitely need to invest in a new jersey. I'm more of a hat guy now, so like whatever, but it's all good.
You do have a pristine hat collection.
AD is a game time decision as of 3 minutes ago.
Hey Amanda, my birthday is June 26th, so we're just 25 days away. Baby. Should I start a GoFundMe or something, or no? You guys can just cash at me or Zelle me.
We got you, man. We got you.
Just get people to subscribe to the channel for his birthday.
Yeah, just subscribe and like and comment. Yeah. You guys are doing amazing. Who's got a DJ? If someone's got a DJ Banga jersey, I think Asa does. Yeah.
You have a DJ Banga jersey? No, you have to wear that. You got to go find it and bring it out. You gotta, no way.
All right.
I wanted to get to this real quick. I didn't see this. Off topic, but did you guys see the highlight of the fan trying to catch a home run in his beer cup? And it was at a Padres game. The only reason I wanted to get to it is I want to know: did he catch it? Did he miss? Did he drop?
I was just trying to pull it up on Twitter right now.
I don't know. I didn't see that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that either.
Do we have a Venmo for AJA?
Yeah, we
to drop. That's okay. Thank you, though, Amanda.
So I didn't tell these guys I was coming on. I had a doctor's appointment, and my wife is a speed racer, guys. So she got home pretty quick. I was like, I'm just gonna go hop on the stream. No big deal.
This is your dojo.
Yeah. Sensei.
Yeah. All right. So we were going to the Western Conference, right? To talk about.
Let's talk about the Western Conference.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yeah, Utah, Memphis, right?
Yeah, we got Utah, Memphis. They're up. Utah's up 3-1. Memphis just kind of. Memphis is not playing bad. Here's what I'll say about this here. Memphis isn't playing bad. It's just Utah is just playing really well, and Memphis just doesn't have enough to keep up. Dylan Brooks is playing phenomenally. John Morant is scoring at probably as best as he can. Jonathan Valanciunas is eating it up, but they just don't have the bodies. Really, all it comes down to. They're high-scoring games. I mean, one game, the game John Morant scored 47 points. It was 149 to 136 or something like that. So this is a series, I think, where Memphis got their game. They got it without D. Mitch, and since Donovan Mitchell came back, they've just kind of been lights out from three, and they've got their mojo. And it'll probably be a gentleman's sweep, I would imagine. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to this series, other than John Morant just looked really well, and he's been playing pretty phenomenal basketball, in my opinion.
I think Utah is probably happy that they lost a game in this series, because they could definitely win this series dropping a game, probably even dropping the first 2 games. Utah still probably would have won this series. However, I mean, Dallas just showed you they won 2 on the road and lost 2 at home. So I mean, anything can happen. Even though like we still kind of laugh at the Clippers here because at least they're at least a first round team. You know, that's what everybody calls them. Everybody wants to make fun of them for losing in the second round, but who knows if they drop? We'll talk about them next, I'm assuming. But Utah is probably okay with the lesson. And then can move forward from that. But you guys were talking about earlier, right? Like the teams that play small ball, right, in the playoffs. So, but Utah can definitely lose to one of those teams, right? Like,
oh yeah, in the second round, absolutely. And we mentioned that, right? I mean, this is a team that always, first, second round exits is what they're known for. I wasn't super surprised when they lost the first game. I was actually really high on Memphis. You guys both know coming into the season, I thought Jaren Jackson would have been back a lot sooner. I think if Jaren Jackson was fully healthy with a full season under his belt coming into this year, this is a totally different series. Donovan Mitchell has come back from injury and came back to looking like he's the best or second best player on the floor. John Morant has been unbelievable though. John Morant has over the last 2 years, in their first 2 years, right? Like Zion has been spectacular as well. But me and Andrew kind of had to take a step back when we were like, oh, there's a good case to be made for wanting to take John Morant and then over Zion Williamson. Obviously, we would never do that because Zion Williamson was obviously just such a miraculous talent. You don't get that very often. You have to go with Zion Williamson. But we were both pretty confident that John Morant was going to be doing some of the stuff that he's doing now. If he develops a jump shot, it's over. And his jump shot's not awful. It's not broken. But God, have you guys noticed his jump shot, his feet are directly right next to each other. There's no space in between his feet when he's shooting a jump shot. I mentioned it to Andrew. I prefer to have my feet staggered a little bit. Professional basketball player, 3-point shooter, star. So my right foot.
I get the jersey on.
Oh, dude, I told Andrew before the stream, I got this jersey on. I swear to God, I feel like I could dunk right now. I swear to God. I'll go down the street right now. Woo. Give me a ball, 10-foot rim. I'm getting up at 5'7", 5'8", for anybody who's watching. And dunk city with this jersey on right now. Dunk city, bro. I swear to you, I'll break the rim right now.
That's one of my lifelong goals. I just want to be able to. I want to dunk a basketball. That's it. I'm right at 6 feet. If I could ever dunk a basketball, that'll be. I'll be okay with life. Whatever happens after that is just
You need about 4 feet and maybe 6 inches of clearance there to.
Yeah. I think you could do it, eh? You lost some weight, get a little uppy, little bounce.
I got like a 27-inch arm. So if you make that up, I don't know what my vertical is. We tried working on the vertical in high school and we sliced open the leg, so that didn't go too well. So
boy, that's a story. That's a story.
We'll have to revisit that. Is that going to be an AJA Sports Show extra? I don't know. It depends if we can actually do it. I don't know. If I could actually dunk, maybe I'll put it online. But maybe the fails will be even funnier. We can go 8 feet.
If you dunk, if I ever dunk, it's going on everything. My bios on all social media will say guy who dunks, Johnny Cassis.
We need to start a vlog so that a weekly vlog, and then one of those vlogs will record Andrew trying to dunk.
Seriously,
I'm okay with that. I got a hoop down the street, so we can make it happen.
Yeah, but John Morant be pretty good. So yeah, that series is over though.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson, his injury went way long, right? Because he got injured in the bubble.
It was a meniscus. Yeah, he must have had some other underlying stuff, bro. Because they thought I tore my meniscus, and they were like, "Yeah, 6 weeks. You'll be back for second to last week of the football season. You'll be back for playoffs. Good to go." And then eventually it was an ACL because life stinks sometimes. But yeah, 6 weeks. So I was like, Jaren Jackson should be back, ready to roll by the time the season starts. And then the season started, and they were like, "Yeah, he's not ready just yet." And then we got to the All-Star break, and they're like, "Yeah, he's not ready just yet." And then he played 5 games before the playoffs, and then they just ramped him up. I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, it's full go now, huh?" And he looked a little rusty out there. He's a guy that shot the 3-ball really well last year, and he shot it decently during the postseason in his last few games, but definitely not anywhere like he was shooting it last year. So it would have been interesting. Compete against a dude perfect shot. Yeah. Hey, bro, I see some of the stuff they do, Ryan. Let me tell you, bro. This athleticism that I got
get the people what they want, man.
This athleticism that I got right here, bro. I think we got ourselves a shot, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think we got ourselves a shot.
I'm gonna put some money down on these brown kids on the AJA Sports Show. Let's do it.
Bro, we used to have Powerade City at St. Jeremy, baby. I'm used to yanking full court shots, bro. I try to make a full court shot for a Powerade, and we built different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I think we're good on the Memphis-Utah series. We want to keep talking basketball. We can move on to the Clippers and Mavericks series.
I'll go last about this series. I'll go last.
Yeah. Oh, because I have a feeling I know. I have a feeling I know why you're going to go last in the series. But Ace, I think you mentioned it a couple minutes ago when you were talking about Utah, Memphis. Dallas won the first 2 games on the road. Now the Clippers won the first 2 games on the road. I guess it just tells you now that Dallas is supposed to go back to the Los Angeles and win Game 5 on the road. Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, Luka's shoulder is probably feeling a little bit better from when his injury first occurred. He does look like he's in a bit of a discomfort there. Rick Carlisle, the Dallas Mavericks coach, did say that he's having trouble looking left, and a problem like with that is I don't know if anybody's ever had a neck crick. I'm sure everybody has. You slept on the wrong side of the bed. I had one the other day when I was working out. I just could not look to the left. It sucks. It's absolutely terrible. So hopefully that's gotten some treatment and he's doing okay. He was wearing some KT tape. But he said that it's a big part of Luka's game to be super deceptive, and that's why we talk about like why is how can Luka get in the lane? How can Luka do this? Like how can he blow by guys? It's because he's deceptive. It's because he's able to use his eyes to manipulate defenders, and when he can't turn his neck, that's when it becomes a problem for him. So this series just took a turn for the interesting. A lot of people wrote off the Clippers, and we're hoping for the demise of Paul George and Kawhi. What do you guys think? How do you think this is going to play out the next 3 games? Now best of 3.
Well, Game 4 was ridiculous. The Clippers crushed them. I don't think that's underplaying it at all, overplaying it at all. I misspoke. They led every quarter. Kawhi and Paul George, defend me? Nah, I'll just go right by you, defender. Whoever the hell it was. It was pretty bad. Like I didn't see Dallas really put any effort into that. I think I don't know, maybe this is the game, like, they got kind of embarrassed to me, and maybe they'll put it together for a Game 5 win, a spirited Game 5 win, but it does feel like all the momentum is back to Los Angeles here. They're back at home, too, right? So you would not be it would not surprise me if the Clippers win their Game 5 here, but...
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I mentioned it to Andrew and to my dad and to Mike when he was over for Game 3 of this series. The Clippers were going to win. I have a feeling they're going to win the next 2 and win in 6. That's what I originally projected. I wasn't super shocked to see them drop the first 2. What I was telling Andrew and what I was telling everyone I was talking to about this series, the Clippers aren't going to shoot 29 to 30% from the three-point line like they did in the first 2 games, and we've seen that come to fruition. Over the last 2 games, they're shooting like 42%, which guess what? In case anyone didn't realize, the Clippers were the best three-point shooting team in the league this year. They shot 41% from the field as a team. 41% from the field. Not that was their good three-point shooters. That's their team average. And they were shooting 30%, which is a third of what their normal shooting percentage is. Kawhi has been next to unbelievable. I mean, really, so far he's averaging 33, 8.5, shooting 63% from the field, 47% from the three-point line. Those aren't numbers that you see over 4-game spans. Obviously Luka's been impeccable, but that's the problem. Luka has to be for Dallas to even remotely keep these games close. For them to win, he's got to be unbelievable. We've seen it. It's like 30-point triple-doubles. If he doesn't have a 30-point triple-double, the game's not close. They have no chance of winning. That's pretty much the formula right now for Dallas.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening 4 times in a row. Not 4 times in a row. I don't see that happening 4 times in 7 games against a team that is overall better than Dallas is. The Clippers could have been the 3rd seed if they weren't Weenie Hut Juniors and scared of LeBron and tried to tank to get Dallas. They're lucky they got Dallas and that Dallas dropped the last 2. This Game 5 is big. If they lose, that's a big loss. I don't think they are. I think they're going to win the next 2. I don't think Dallas wins another game, unfortunately. The health of Luka, that's not great. If you guys didn't know, Facundo Campazzo, who is a full foot shorter than Kristaps Porzingis, is averaging more rebounds than Kristaps Porzingis in this postseason.
Hustle, Kristaps, baby. Hustle.
Get off the three-point line, Kristaps. Go get a rebound. Huh? I know Dallas isn't used to big freaking rebounding with Dirk Nowitzki there, but Jiminy, get down there and grab some boards.
One thing that shocks me about Dallas, and I don't, maybe you can touch on it too, Jay, just because, in Ace, I don't know if you watched the whole game, but I don't see enough of Kristaps and Luka in the pick and roll together, and I feel like that's it's just you need more of it. I just don't feel like I saw like you said he runs he does it a lot with Max Kleber. They like to have Max Kleber come and set the pick or have Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith come into the pick and have Kristaps out. Kind of free roaming, getting an open look where he can. But I'd like to see them, be that 1-2 tandem that runs the pick and roll pretty often. And maybe I'm wrong about this, but just what my eyes tell me, I don't really know the stats behind it. But yeah, Kristaps just kind of been like kind of nowhere to be found. He's averaging like maybe I think 14 points in the series. He's not shooting particularly well. The rebounding thing is inexcusable. He needs to be down there crashing boards against a team that's kind of soft as Charmin. The Clippers are not a good rebounding basketball team by like NBA like statistical standards. So he should be down there, crashing the boards a little bit. Shouldn't be relying on Willie Cauley-Stein, who has had to get minutes because they need the rebounding and they need to stop the second chance points. So I don't really know how the series is going to go. I'd probably have to concede and say that it'd probably be the Clippers in 6. But I don't know. The Clippers lost the first 2 at home, unless they get cold feet again and they can't perform at the standards of their home stadium and Luka just goes bonkers again. I don't see them winning another game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Luka this might be the series where Luka tries to do too much on his own. He already has 20 turnovers this series, so not and we kind of mentioned some of the context there, right? A little bit of nagging injuries kind of affecting him there. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think he can do enough. He's kind of averaging what he averages, right? 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He's good for a couple forced turnovers in the game, but I don't think he could do enough. So this is where the 2v1, right? The 2 superstars versus the 1. Kristaps is putting up about 15 points a game, but you gotta put up more than points, right? You can't win a game with your second best player just being the scorer unless you're, I don't know, one of these lights out scoring teams where you can just try to outscore everybody, right? Like Utah, like the Clippers a little bit, right? Like Phoenix to a degree. So yeah, this just feels like Clippers in 6, but hopefully we get a good series regardless. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Luka, and Dallas seems semi-smart to build around him, so they'll probably fix that next year. But
that guy Mark Cuban is a pretty smart cookie. So,
but they ran into this last year, right? I mean, they didn't blow the lid off. They still kind of kept the same core. So
yeah, but Kristaps came in the middle of last year, COVID year. Andrew, I kind of agree with you. They do run a pick and roll with him quite a bit. The thing with Luka is Luka likes to run a lot of isolation, man. So even when he's in those pick and rolls, he's not in the pick and roll to exploit a mismatch off the pick and roll. He's in the pick and roll to get the mismatch, ISO, and then exploit the mismatch. And which is why, I mean, the dude gets more screens. I mean, it's like him, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard. Like these guys, it's all ball screens. Like that's what the NBA is now a lot. I mean, it's motion on the backside, but ball handler, as long as you have a guy who can shoot, handle, play make, it's ball screens all day now. Obviously, you see guys like Steph Curry who are amazing off the ball, but he's one of a kind. We don't see that too often. Yeah, this is in 6 for me. I think the Clippers win the next 2 games and close out an inferior team that they really have no business losing to. I thought this was going to go – I predicted in 6 just because the Clippers are the Clippers, and I don't ever know what to do with them. I wanted to say 5 because I was pretty darn confident they were going to win this. But yeah, in 6, and I think that it's been a pretty entertaining series now that you look at it, and it's going to go 6 games, and Luka went off. Luka's shooting 48% from the free throw line. He's got a better field goal percentage than free throw percentage during this series.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's the one weird thing. I don't expect that to continue because he's a pretty good
free throw shooter. Yeah, he shoots like 80%
for his career. It's just, I guess if there has to be one flaw, right? If he's averaging 38 and 8, it's like, I guess if that's going to be the downfall.
If he's averaging 42, if he's shooting his normal free throw percentage.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that's true. Just for reference, Ace, we all had the Clippers winning this series. Ace had it in 5, so that one's out of the running. He still will get a point for probably winning. We all think that the Clippers are still going to win the series. I'll get a point for winning the series.
Now they're so going to lose now.
I was aggressive. in this.
We are all on the Clippers train right now. They are so going to lose. Woo-hoo! We got right where we want
we're trying to do. Yeah, exactly. Johnny, you had them in 6. I had the series going 7. So who knows? Maybe they go back and Dallas wins game 6 at home, and then they lose in game 7 in Staples. So we'll see. Another 2-2 series. The next one we'll move on to Denver and Portland. We'll talk about them real quick. The the first 3 games were kind of like all blowouts to whoever the winning team was. Denver won game 4 to even up the series. It was one of those like the first 3 games of the series were one of those like instances, but you can't call them one of those instances because it happened 3 straight times where one team just got out to a big lead and the other team just couldn't catch up. That's literally all it was. And they just kept shooting the lights out. And then game 4 kind of gave us a little bit more at the end to be desired. A lot more defense, a lot more like, stingy possessions, a lot more good basketball. Jokic has been balling. You mentioned Campazzo. He's a 30-year-old rookie from Argentina who has been balling for them. Just so again for reference here, Ace, you had Denver over Portland in 5. So again, you'll probably, as long as Denver wins, you'll probably get the point for you'll still get the point for that. Johnny, you had this one going 7, and I also had this one going 7. We all picked Denver to win this series. So as it stands now, how do we see this one swaying? We got I believe it's in game 5's in Denver. Game 5 will be in Denver for that one, and then they'll finish off in Denver for game 7 after going to Portland for 6. So what do you guys think for this series? What have you seen so far?
I'm just a little worried about Nikola Jokic's assist play here, and I think that has brought down is being brought down by his team's just piss poor shooting percentage in some of these games. I was pulling up some stats while you were talking there, and so far for this series, there's the advanced stats, right? We talked about these nerdy stats here, but there's this stat called game score, and it gives you. It balances everything, but it gives you kind of an idea of how productive a player has been. 10 is average, 40 is outstanding, okay? So during this series, Jokic is 23, so above average, right? But then I was also looking at his play during the season, and nothing was as low as 23. So that just, just stats alone, right? Like, and you can kind of feel it during this series too, but there's just something there that's not clicking with the rest of the team. It's not, I don't think, a lack of effort or trying. I think, Portland is probably sticking to their game plan a little bit better here. But if Jokic takes it up, elevates it up a little bit, then I obviously I see Denver winning this. But it's going to be tough. Like, this team is ridiculously full of shooters, right? So if McCollum is off, Dame's not. If Dame is off, Powell's not. So it's just tough to conceive to get around that. The way you do get around that is with your MVP coming in here and just smacking them around with his beautiful physique. I don't know what I'm saying here, but yeah, I don't know. This one scares me a little bit. I'm still gonna root for Denver, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll be getting hyped here in a second. Ryan.
Back to Jay Duncan.
30-point trip dub, LeBron, easy, book it. Denver and Portland, it's been a rather interesting series. We've kind of seen a little bit of everything. The Portland Trailblazers won. Damian Lillard scored 10 points. That hasn't happened since 2015. Funny enough, it was against the Nuggets. So go figure that's a little weird. We saw the Austin Rivers game where he went off in the fourth quarter and balled for them to win game 3, Denver. I think Denver's just really starting to feel these injuries, man. I mean, I really think, like, Michael Porter Jr. is supposed to be the second best player on their team right now. Like, you would argue, like, easily, right? He's the second best player. He took 3 shots last game, had 3 points. That cannot happen. You're going to lose every game if you're Denver. And Michael Porter, your second best scorer, your second best player, has 3 points. So, number one, Nikola Jokic needs some help, bro. As good of a story as Facundo Campazzo has been, he should not be starting in the NBA. I'll say it. I don't care if I have to say it. I don't care that you broke your arm, okay? He should not be starting in the NBA, let alone in the NBA playoffs right now. So the fact that Denver's tied 2-2, and this is why I had it going 7, and it could have easily been Portland. We talked about it when we made our projections, and Ace is 100% right. Anytime that someone's off, I mean, Jiminy, dude, look at Portland's roster. Portland's going to lose the first series of the playoffs. They have no business doing so, right? When you have Dame and CJ and Nurkic and Melo and Powell. I mean, dude, we talked about you talked about Lillard and McCollum. Do you know who led them in scoring in their win the other day? Powell. Norman Powell had 24 points. Like, dude, they just have scoring everywhere, and the series is tied 2-2. And I think Denver has it because they have Nikola Jokic, and I think he's the better he's the best player on the floor so far. So
So this is interesting, right? Because this is almost almost feels like a 2.5v1, right? Where Jokic might kind of have to be facing off against like 2.5 of these like ridiculous shooters. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was a little bit more grounded than you were. So I'm a hype up. Let's go Denver. Denver in 6.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sticking with my guns here. Denver. I think it's gonna go 7. But I still think Denver's gonna win. Jokic won't have he's the minus 32 the other night. He's not gonna do that again. He's the MVP for a reason. He played up to standards, the first 3 games of the series. So I expect him to get back to that. That Michael Porter Jr. thing about 1 for 3 from the field is just unbelievable. He only took 3 shots. That should never. As long as Michael Porter Jr. is healthy in the NBA and can play professional basketball, there should never be a game that comes around where he should only take 3 points or take 3 shots from the field unless the Nuggets are blowing a team out by 40 by the time the second quarter starts. And that's just damn near impossible. So you need to be taking more than 3 shots, Michael Porter Jr., because you're way too talented. And a team that already is lacking, losing Jamal Murray and hasn't had Will Barton or PJ Dozier to have those reinforcements coming off the bench, you need to take more than that. Facundo Campazzo, guys, you guys remember Marcelo Huertas from the Lakers a couple years ago? That's who he reminds me of.
Absolutely.
This little Spaniard, a couple knocks in, a couple threes, makes some cool passes. He's not really going to translate to winning basketball. He's kind of surrounded by the MVP, so he's playing pretty good basketball for right now. But he probably shouldn't be a starter in the NBA. He's a 30-year-old rookie.
Just make the right plays. That's all. That's all he has. That's all they're asking of him. That's all he does. Mm-hmm. He just makes the right play. Don't turn the ball over. Pass the ball to Jokic when Jokic tells you to pass the ball, and play as hard as you can. That's all they're asking him to do. That's what he's doing. I mean, Denver's missing 3 of their big rotational pieces. And for people who don't watch Denver, PJ Dozier is a rotational piece that they really, really, really like. He's only in his 2nd year, and they really like PJ Dozier. Will Barton being out, that's automatic offense for them. And obviously with no Jamal Murray, is huge. Monte Morris is just coming back. And Monte Morris is their backup point guard who played exceptionally well in last year's playoffs coming off the pine for Jamal Murray. So, I mean, one thing I did want to notice, I want to point out too, look at the West versus the East right now. Look at the East, 3-1, 3-1, 4-0 sweep, 3-1, and then you got the West dogging it out. It seems like this is always the thing. The West is just better than the East all the time. And I like to say that it balances out, but it doesn't. It's almost all the time. And guess what? LeBron is still winning playoff games in the West, just in case anyone didn't know. Because there was this whole narrative that when he came over here, that, oh, wow, he was doing it against the East. Welcome to the West. It's so much harder being in the West. And guess what? He's still doing the damn thing.
I couldn't even find my cursor on my screen because I'm over here laughing. I'm about to have tears coming down my face. I was like trying to unmute myself.
Yeah, the anarchy, the way we blasphemize.
So since you brought it up, and Mr. Ryan has segued us 5 minutes ago about the Lakers series, why don't we talk about the Lakers series a little bit? So this is the stat that I was saving, and this is what I'm going to say, and then you guys can kind of have free reign until we're basically done talking about the Lakers and Suns after this. So, yeah, thank you, Amanda. We needed that. I appreciate it. Go James, wearing the jersey for a reason. After a loss in the first round, by the way, he's played 15 first round NBA playoff series in his entire career. 15 of them. He's only lost 12 total games in the first round of the NBA play. 12 games over the course of an 18-year career. And every time he has lost a game, he has won the following game. He is 12-0 off of a loss in the playoffs in the first round, and he's never lost a first round series. So the thing is, here's basically what I'm getting at is if you're gonna ask me right now if I'm concerned about the Lakers and if they're gonna be able to get past the Suns, I'm not.
I never lost
because it's just because since LeBron got here, with the exception of an injury derailing his season, we were a top 3 team in the West, and then when he was fully healthy, we won a title. Since he got here, he has not shown me an instance where he is not going to get the job done. And until I see it, I won't believe it. Because guess what? He didn't do it in Cleveland. He got all the way through his conference. And then he just ran into the Warriors a couple times. But till he does it, I'm not going to believe it. And I'm not going to be the guy to say that he gets bounced in the first round for the first time in his career. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be that guy. I won't be. I won't die on that hill. Because he's going to win this series in probably 6. So, guys, go for it.
It's like the Ace, I'll let you go because I'm going to go ballistic. It's like the Dan Le Batard show does. Stugotz is always telling the guys because people are always trying to write off Tom Brady too early, and Stugotz always tells him, Dan, we care about you. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this. You can be first to a lot of things. The one thing I'm not going to be first on is saying that Tom Brady is done and LeBron James is not it. Okay, those are the two things I'll reserve. I'll let someone else be right about those. I'll be wrong about those.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Okay, so it's me, right? Okay, there's a few reasons that the Lakers will beat the Suns, right? We've kind of covered this in total detail, but we're just going to look at it in a very general, specific reason here. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and they're defending champs, right? So you need 3 reasons. That's 3. AD is hurt. Cool, understandable, right? If he might not play tonight. Totally understand. If the Suns steal tonight, which by all Andrew's reasoning they shouldn't, because LeBron doesn't lose 2 games in a row in the playoffs here, I would still choose this Lakers team to defend their title, at least in this first round series. Devin Booker has literally not been off the floor. DeAndre Ayton, not off the floor. Frank Vogel has to come into this game and has to actually deploy strategy. Small ball maybe, something, defense. The games we won, we were feisty. We gave them hell. We brought the Suns flames. Even we burned their asses because of how well we played defensively, right? So this team has to play better defensively. They are literally like neck and neck right now, stats wise, on pace. Like the pace of play, stats show that they're literally right there. The Lakers have averaged 100 points this series. The Suns have averaged 99. So literally right there. They're both turning the ball over at the same rate. Literally the exact same rate. So what differentiates a team that has the same pace, has the same turnovers, scores generally the same points? It's differentiated by who do you trust? Who are your closers? And this is where LeBron James will come in and win this first round series just because of experience alone. And there ain't no Cinderella stories, especially not in Phoenix. Well, there are probably a few Cinderellas in Phoenix, but LeBron, the King James, is going to just keep adding to his history, at least in this first round. I'm not necessarily worried. It does suck seeing AD get hurt all the effing time, but this guy is literally he has the worst GD luck, guys. Like, this guy's like just tall enough to get elbowed in the face, and then he the other day he freaking avoided taking down Devin Booker. No, run into him, and then he hurt himself after that. No, who cares, man? That's a pillow for you. Land on the pillow. If Devin Booker says night because you landed on him, if they give you a tech or some shit like that because it wasn't a basketball play, get out of here with these refs and their basketball plays, anyways. But LeBron at the end of Game 4 getting held by the shoulders by Jay Crowder.
I was just about to say okay. I don't understand the criteria anymore because they say what they don't know. They don't convince me enough on what constitutes what is a basketball play and what isn't a basketball play when they do these reviews and stuff. Real quick before you guys keep going, it just came through. Chris Haynes announced that that Anthony Davis will miss tonight's game. They're going to hold him out of Game 5. But because of how close it was and because it was a game time decision, I imagine he'll be ready for Game 6. I don't know if it's Thursday or Friday. I'll have to check on that. I don't know if there's a 3-day break or not, but just want to let you guys know. But no AD tonight, so it'll definitely be on LeBron's shoulders that he got pulled down on to shoulder the load a little bit here tonight.
I mean, this really is Ryan. This really is like a Cinderella story for the Lakers. They're a 7 seed. A 7 seed has never won the NBA championship, never. So we want to talk about history. I hope they got some documentary crew filming just in case, right? Just in case this team makes history, because. They just might, and it starts with winning tonight's game, that's for sure.
Oh, thank God we get 2 days off. Whew, thank the Lord. So, LeBron, after the last game, they talked about, carrying the load. And he talked about these shoulders, built for anything. I build these shoulders out. He shoulder presses a freaking big building. That's what he does, all right? So bring it on, huh? Bring it on. All of you guys.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Y'all been bringing it on. Y'all been asking him. His whole career. Y'all been asking, LeBron, we need you to do more. We need you to score. We need you to win championships. We need you to make the finals. Done. Check. And guess what? He's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. He's going to do it the hell again. All right? He made the finals with Matthew Dellavedova and Tristan Thompson. I think he can yank these Lakers to the finals. Are you kidding me right now? Sign me up. And this isn't just a fan talk. This dude's unbelievable. Every metric, got it. Every type of big shot you need, got it. Passing, got it. Rebounding, got it. Scoring, got it. Sign me up. All right? LeBron's been feeling him out. It's what he does, especially in the beginning part of the series and especially in the beginning part of the finals. He's ready to go. This is game time now, okay? Game time. Y'all wanted the monster? Y'all going to get the monster, all right? Bring it on. I don't need no stats. I give you enough stats about LeBron. I give you enough stats about the Lakers. I giving you enough. We've been killing Phoenix's dreams since Kobe Bean was knock it down game winners in game 4 of the playoffs, baby. Y'all want it, Phoenix? Come and get it. But guess what? You don't want it because the Lakers gonna give it to you again. We're gonna give it to you again. Like we've been giving it to you.
Hey, Arizona.
Give it to you every time.
Phoenix. Hey, Suns.
Every time.
You ain't never won. You ain't never won a title.
Every time.
No one on your roster has a ring. No,
they giving it to you, huh?
Have you smelt that lately?
Yeah. No, they haven't.
No, you haven't. Let's go Lakers.
Yeah. I'm ready to go, baby. I'm ready to go. I don't know what else to say, but I'm ready to go. All right, it's game 5, big game, swing game. I mean, whoever wins this game is gonna go. It's gonna go a long way toward winning the series. And guess who else I'm calling upon today, huh? I brought him up a little bit. He's been nasty. He's going to continue to be nasty, eat it up. Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's going to go for like a 20 and 15 today, I'm telling you right now, okay? Because when you take Anthony Davis on the floor, I assume this probably means Kyle Kuzma starting, right? That's going to open it up for Andre Drummond. The same way that when they're both in the game, my bias is showing. I know. Ryan, I had stats and stuff all listed out, dude. It went all out the window. Okay, the minute I put this jersey on, it's all out. It's out the window. Okay, it's over. Okay, so we'll see what happens. 7:00 tip off. See what happens tonight. I'll eat crow if I'm wrong, but I doubt I'll be wrong because I'm betting on LeBron.
We frame bias like I know our little small community here frames bias in a way that implies that we're being ridiculous or extra or uninformed, possibly. Not saying that any of us are saying that about each other, but I got to listen to these guys on the radio, and I got to listen to Max Kellerman tell me how he denounced the Brooklyn Nets, so he's not a Nets fan anymore, or some nonsense like that. I got to hear about Stephen A's New York Knicks, and then I got to watch memes about how they're losing, and the Stephen A memes attached. But it's okay. It's okay to let people know where you're from. The roots are beautiful in this tree, right? We have beautiful roots. We have been grounded as a successful franchise, and we are amazing fans for this franchise. The three of us have lost our voices. We've ran in the middle of the streets. We've paraded down our hallways, screaming, pounding our chests, hitting the walls, hitting each other. Because we have a passion about the Lakers, and it's okay for us to show that. And that really is what I'd like to say. I have no other further context to say here, but we're good fans, and take it or leave it. Take it or leave it.
In no way, shape, or form has that passion that we possess ever led us to throwing an object at a professional sports athlete. That is one thing I will just say, and I want to clarify. You guys, I know you guys share that. KCP will play tonight, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not as hype, hype train, hype beast as you guys are.
Okay.
Try to stay a little grounded. I'm just a little grounded, level headed a little bit here.
Bro, okay. So look, right? What do you want me to do? You want me to hide it? You want me to hide that I'm a Laker fan? That since I was born, I was born, I wasn't a Laker fan, or I'm not a Chiefs fan, or I'm not a Dodger fan. I'd rather just be outright honest about it. Why not? And I mean, anyone who watches our shows, has been around and followed us through, since we started, can tell we hashtag put the time in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't just come on here and we're not just Laker homers saying, why are the Lakers going to win, guys? Oh, because they're just the gosh darn best who, the most rootinest, tootiest basketball team in the whole entire world. No, okay? They have LeBron James. We have all the metrics. They're the best defense in the league. They're shooting ridiculously poor right now. Like, all of these things would tell you that the Lakers are closer to winning this series than the Phoenix Suns are. And the betting line shows you that. A lot of the stuff you're seeing, game one, if you look at the Vegas betting line, Phoenix won. They were projected to win. All the money was on Phoenix. We thought Phoenix would probably win game one. But who's the betting favorite to win the series? The Lakers. Who's still, without Anthony Davis, the betting favorite to win the series? It's the Lakers. So it's not just like we're coming out here on some pipe dream saying, oh, yeah, the Los Angeles Lakers, because you're the Lakers, you're the best team, and because I like them. No, they have the best duo in basketball. The best duo in basketball. It's not even close. When you look at top two players, they have the top two best players on their teams if you put any other top two players on any other team. So, yeah, and one of those guys happens to be one of the top 1, 2, 3 greatest players of all time. So, go figure.
Let's real quick. I just want y'all to understand perspective here, because I think this is also super important. This Laker team has had to fight pretty much this whole season because of injuries. Because AD and LeBron have both missed extended periods of time, right? In which AD during the season had to hold up this team while LeBron was out, and we had to do it for 15 games. For 15 games with the other way, and for a dozen games without both of them. So this is also kind of showing you too that resting players is kind of an unfair advantage to a degree, and I get it. But the Clippers did this nonsense. They tanked a little bit. They got an advantageous opponent still, I guess, in a way, of Dallas, and the Brooklyn Nets did it too, right? Yeah, I mean, they weren't necessarily healthy, but come on, you can't tell me that these three stooges over in Brooklyn didn't take some time off, and it's showing right now in the first round for Brooklyn and for the Clippers of how they're able to put good performances together. But the playoffs is a different monster, right? It doesn't matter necessarily that you can perform well. Or average good stats, right? It really becomes a dogfight. It really becomes who's got the biggest dog in the fight, who's not afraid to sink that shot, right? We saw that last year with AD in the not the corner, about the wing
yeah.
3, throwing that ball up in the air, saying Kobe, right? We saw LeBron win us the game this series, right, by nailing a 34-foot 3-point shot, right, to call game 2. So it's gonna happen. You just gotta rely on who's done it before you rely on the unknown, right? And if you're a normal fan of the NBA, I think it's easy right now to say the Suns got this because they reestablished home court advantage. But as both of these teams have showed you, they're 2-2. Away and at home, right? They're 1-1, I should say. So they both won a game at home, one lost a game at home. So this is going to be a very close series, and it's ridiculous how close it is because I don't think any of us went into this thinking it would be a blowout, but it's this keeps you on the edge of your damn seat. And so we'll see how tonight goes. But
this has been the one series where it's been just end-to-end basketball for at least 42 minutes consistently, because game 3 the Lakers pulled away pretty late. The one thing I wanted to touch on real fast is the reason I brought up that the scoreboard so everyone can see the scores real fast. We can keep it off, but I just wanted to touch on the Lakers.
Ryan saw Booker's and LeBron's eyes right there, and he got a little scared. So I just
that's why I was laughing, because it was the only thing on the screen for a second.
I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. I'm like, did he see some pregame
when you were
action?
Zooming in?
Was he?
No, when you were zooming in, you only had Booker and LeBron's eyes for 1 second. I was like,
my bad. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to say was the Lakers defense has been talked about by everybody. It is the best defense in the league, and it's as advertised. They averaged during the regular season 106 points a game, to opposing offenses. They haven't even allowed that yet this series. They've allowed the most they allowed was 102. They haven't even allowed what they allowed in the regular season yet, which, when you play against better teams in the postseason, that regular season number can sometimes jump up to what you're allowing. And they haven't even scraped the surface of what they average in the regular season, because they average about 117 a game. They haven't even gotten anywhere close to that. And like Jay, you and Ace mentioned, their shooting has been poor. It's been 20. They've been shooting 25% from the 3-point line. That's not going to keep up the same way it wasn't going to keep up with the Clippers. So it just matters. It just comes down, like you guys said, to who's going to make the right decisions when the moments come down to it. Who's going to really make the clutch plays, and who's going to play the best defense. And I really think the Lakers are going to be doing that. And again, I won't say otherwise until I actually see it. So should be a fun one today. Should be coming on about 45 minutes.
This is a great series. This has been a great series. The Denver and Portland series has been great. Even the Clippers and Dallas series. I mean, there was what, maybe 1 or 2 blowouts, but I mean, look at every game in this series. Every game has been close. I mean, these are 2 good teams. Phoenix is the second best team in the Western Conference this year. Like, again, I mean, there were some yahoos who were talking about, oh, this is the biggest game in LeBron James's career-defining moment. Shut up. I mean, if you just want clicks and headlines, by all means, do what you have to. But I'm not going to buy that baloney. Again, it's the first round. He's never lost before. If it's a hill I die on, it's a hill I die on. That'll be the one. There are very few. Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest players ever. LeBron James is probably not going to lose in the first round. You know, there are very few things I'm willing to put the house on, put the mortgage. It's just one of those. So we'll see what happens.
No, yeah, I'm with you. What's it called? What's his name? Devin. The game 2 where they scored 102 points or whatever. The only reason they got to 102 is because Devin Booker is down 8 with 7 seconds to go, and he gets fouled on a 3-point shot.
We fouled him like 3 times in the last minute.
Three possessions in a row.
We fouled him on 3 points.
Yeah, one was on a 2-point shot. The other were on 3s.
We were up by like 15.
Right. Yeah. I mean, which just goes to show you, like, the scores don't tell the whole story, right? I don't know what I can't. Didn't the Suns like slam dunk it in the final like couple seconds, anyways, of this last game too?
Probably, yeah, I think so. In game 4.
Torrey Craig in the last minute they were up 10. I think slam dunked it and then gave them 100 points. So really, we've held this team under 100 points. If I'm just trying to lament and statisfy some of the Lakers' defensive play here.
Real quick before we go, guys, just want to give an update on the games that are going on right now. The Nets have jumped out to about what was a 13-point lead at most, and now closed down to an 8-point lead with 5 minutes to go in the third. The Blazers and Nuggets just tipped off, and the Blazers have yet to scratch the score sheet with 4 minutes gone. In the first quarter, the Nuggets are up 10-0. I'm guessing a timeout was called by Terry Stotts because it just seems like what you would do when you find yourself down 10-0.
I'd probably call a timeout.
Yeah, I'd probably call a timeout. Don't want to save those for the end of the game. But
10-0, huh?
Yeah, 10-0.
Let's go Denver.
Yeah, Denver, right?
Yeah.
I have them in 7. Jay has them in 7. Ace, you have them in 5. Unless they can, somehow win 2 games tonight.
If I was Denver, the stadium, I would lower the oxygen a level in that stadium, and I would just hope that my players are used to it by now. I would just suck the air out of the Portland Trailblazers just by a little bit. I would Bill Belichick their asses. I would fly. I'm sure Belichick is really good friends with this drone agency where he just
Belichick and his weather machine.
Who's he's manipulating what he manipulates. Oh, I'm telling you, what was it? Super Bowl, the Superdome, where the Ravens versus Niners? Was that?
Yeah.
Where we sat down for a half an hour. We're waiting for this game to restart. Man,
oh my God!
I'd release a bunch of rats into my stadium and just be like, hopefully they chew the right wires,
Taking crazy chances over here, man.
I remember when that happened. Everyone was like, "Oh, the Niners would have won if they wasn't going to stop it." You know what? The other thing
they were down 17 when the stoppage happened.
You remember what else happened with that? This year, Steph Curry was like balling, and then as he was shooting a shot, the lights went out at like one of the arenas they were playing at, and then all of a sudden he stopped shooting well, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's because the lights went out." That's right. It's just he was shooting a shot, the lights went out. Threw off his hole. He's Steph Curry, bro. Are you kidding me? I don't think you turn the lights off on him and he's just gonna start missing jumpers off.
Y'all remember that Michael Jordan free throw where he shot the free throw with the lights out, literally eyes closed.
Yeah.
That was from Mutombo.
Ryan, did you hear? Apparently, a Patriots reporter was like, Mac Jones looks small. He looks like his arm doesn't have any zip. He just like he stands next to Cam Newton, and I mean obviously he's Cam Newton, but even next to like Jared Stidham, he looks small. So that I'm not saying that we got any geniuses on the show here, but we were all kind of like, third pick, Mac Jones, doesn't seem like that adds up. And then there you go, smoke and mirrors. just want to let you know there was about maybe 3 or 4 big time national radio hosts and sports talk show hosts that were talking about that, and all 3 of us were one of them here because we were not buying that baloney. Just FYI.
Yeah, no, I don't want anything to do with Mac Jones. But anyway,
he's poor man's Kirk Cousins. You kidding me?
Yeah, probably at best, right? I mean, even Kirk Cousins is thrown for multiple 30 touchdown seasons. So if Mac Jones is gonna have to do quite a bit to be able to reach Kirk Cousins.
No, but anyway. The Patriots are so smart. No, give me a second now. Because the Patriots are so smart. And at a time in the NFL where everyone's getting athletic quarterbacks that run around and throw the ball on the run, they could just get another pocket guy. Because Tom Brady was just a guy. That's why. That's right. He was just a guy. Tom Brady was just a guy, and New England system is the thing that wins all the time. So we don't need athletic quarterbacks that make great plays and do things outside of the script because we're just going to be better than everybody else, apparently, if you ask Bill Belichick. How'd that work out for you last year, huh? How does it look? How does it look? Shining Josh Allen's cleats every Sunday, huh? When you're getting waxed the last few years, the next 10 years when you're in the division and Josh Allen is putting it to you, throwing behind his back, doing stuff that only like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen do, and you got Mac Jones, huh? Mac Jones can't outrun the Gatorade boy. Get out of here.
Oh, especially the Gatorade boy from that one movie, Water Boy.
No way.
Put some cleats on me. Put some cleats on me. I'm not running Mac Jones.
Oh, dude, the what was it?
Strap him up.
What was that? The little girl from Remember the Titans? I can't remember her name, but I'd lace her up against Mac Jones any day. That girl had some ferocity, if you remember. That fantastic sports film about
remember the time
a city divided, and it just really came together for them because a football team just was
we gotta do some sports movie rankings.
Are we just stalling so that Amanda has enough time to walk the dog and and come back and say bye?
We need our viewership.
Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray a couple times, please. Oh, Kyler Murray, huh?
Dude, we should just have like a sub like set of the NFL where just the quarterbacks like show up for like just I don't know something like a tournament or not to the death, but just a tournament where
no.
Oh God, no! Where we could just see these guys just ball out because I love Kyler. I had him on a fantasy team last year.
Yeah.
So love me some Kyler Murray, except when he beat the Buffalo Bills, and his pansy ass DeAndre Hopkins caught that ball and showed off for the rest of the effing season. Oh, whatever. That was your Super Bowl. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
QB challenges. I don't know if we want to do. I don't know if the rest of the NFL wants to do QB. They might do QB challenges and not invite Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Seriously, they're gonna win everything. I mean, precision. They're gonna win. How far you can throw it, they're gonna win. Target practice, they're gonna win. Hell, basketball. But you see Patrick Mahomes golf swing.
Tim Tebow is gonna be in the QB competition too, isn't he?
Tim Tebow needs to get out of the NFL. Get a clipboard. Get a clipboard and a hat and fall in line.
I think the next show we have to pull up that I don't know if you guys remember like a decade ago, like when Tim Tebow was coming out of college, they made that like that song for Tim Tebow, like that rap song on YouTube.
Unleash and they like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I gotta look.
I gotta show you, dude. You gotta look it up, dude.
Bayless, so you know it's funny.
It's Skip Bayless. It's like a bunch of like cut scenes, like put on.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Tell me about it.
You don't belong anywhere near a football field if your completion percentage is under 50%. Are you kidding me?
But the Denver Broncos made the playoffs with Tim Tebow.
You mean Demaryius Thomas stiff-armed a quarterback for an 80-yard touchdown and they won a playoff game because of that and that alone? Dude, they had like 6 games they won. He didn't complete 5 passes.
I was trying to bust a vein up here so you could, like, the that like pic of that one like guy with like his vein popping out like can't do it.
Are you talking about, is that like a meme or is that me?
Yeah, meme.
I couldn't tell the difference. Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about. I get one. That's why I wear a hat. I get one usually that comes down when I get heated. That's why I don't get heated on the show too much. I'm not trying to see the vein pop out of my forehead.
Oh, dude, everyone's too used to me just going off.
We're okay with that though. We welcome those. Those kind of just help us like segue into stuff most of the time and kind of give us a good laugh here and there. So
yeah,
it just happened days when you were here the other day. I remember I was going off on just random stuff. Like I started going off on people who don't like endings of TV series.
Oh yeah. Spoiler alert.
No, you don't like TV series. You're never gonna like any ending to a TV series if you like the series. Bite me. All right, let's go before I get crazy.
Yeah, we're sometimes at our best when we're just topical, and we're just either roasting or embellishing or celebrating some other medium besides sports. We're sometimes at our best there too. Okay, well,
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I think we're at our best all the time. But anyway, guys,
I wasn't supposed to be here, so
we love that you showed up, though, buddy. We can't even.
I'm gonna pretend I wasn't here. Go back to the comment section before you say bye. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, stay right where you are here. We'll actually adjust it real quick. But anyway, those of you who are still here, we really appreciate you guys hanging out to the end. Right down here, you guys looking for an easy way to support us? Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell. I did it on my mom's iPad right before we hopped on, so she was able to get notified when we hop on live, so she'll never miss it again. And we got her an iPad to make sure she watches. Make sure everybody watches. So thank you guys for being here. We're gonna go and get hyped up as much as we can and eat some dinner before the Lakers tip off. We hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday night. Love you guys. Glad both you guys can make it into the show today. Ace, we'll have you back for all these future shows, so can't wait for it.
We'll see you guys Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Until next time, guys, that has been the AJA Sports Show, and we are out. Bye.